There's a t-shirt that says, "Believe there is good." Believe there is good, which I also endorse. I say we live in a belief-driven universe. Change your beliefs and you get a different universe. So believe there is good starts to operate your brain and turn it on to look for good. Hi, I'm Dr. Joe Vitale. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe to Lux Media Studios. Hello and welcome. You've landed on Zero Limits Living. I'm Dr. Joe Vitale. Every week I bring you inspiration and information to transform your life. This show has become so popular so quickly you can now watch it or hear it on 1,000 platforms across the galaxy, including Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, YouTube, and probably anything you can imagine, anything you can name, and anything you're using right now. I'm putting all the shows in one place. You can go there and just binge. You do it with Netflix, so do it with Zero Limits Living. Go to ZeroLimitsLivingTV.com and pack a lunch. There's now 100 episodes there. This is episode 101. Meanwhile, check out Miracles Coaching. People have been asking me about coaching. I developed a coaching program 20 years ago, trademarked it about 15 years ago. It is a system that is proven to work. Find out what it's all about. Get your free question and answer session. Go to miraclescoaching.com. Also, my latest program, which is really blowing up and doing fantastic, it's called Mental Time Travel System. Yes, it's true. You can go to the past and change what was bothering you, get that acquired energy that was stuck then, use it now, and create a future that you'll be proud of and you deserve. MentalTimeTravelSystem.com. My latest book so far is called Unexpected Kindness. You can go to unexpectedkindnessbook.com or just go to Amazon. It's a hardcover, paperback, Kindle version, audio version, all is there. Unexpected Kindness. My next book will be out in July 2024. It's called Zero Limits Living, the 3 pillars to success. Zero Limits Living. You may know I wrote Zero Limits around 2005, which brought Ho'oponopono to the world. And then 10 years later, I wrote At Zero, which was a continuation, and I answered a lot of questions that I heard in a decade. Then I wrote The Fifth Phrase, which introduced the new phrase of Ho'oponopono. And then, of course, the new book will be Zero Limits Living, which combines the law of attraction, Ho'oponopono, awakening, and a lot more. It is the best of the best, and that'll come out in July. Now, usually I have a guest, but sometimes I will do a monologue. I'll do a solo, and I'll do a tutorial. I'll share something with you. I'll teach you something in particular. And I've done that. I think I wrote them down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. Episode 8 was on Ho'oponopono. So if you're curious about what that Hawaiian healing system is all about, go look up Zero Limits Living and look for episode number 8. And then I did an episode on 7 ways to attract money, based on my book, Attract Money Now, which is free at attractmoneynow.com. That was episode 38. So look up episode 38 of Zero Limits Living. On episode 70, I talked about books that have transformed my life. I'm a book addict, bookaholic, author of 90-some books. There have been quite a few books that have really caused me to have a redirect. That was a turning point and turnaround. I talk about, I believe, 10 of those books in episode number 70. In episode 73, I revealed a 3-step process for changing your life. These are all Zero Limits Living TV episodes. That one was number 73. Episode 85 was on sacred quotes. I believe I picked 3 quotes that are standalone. Those quotes can change your life, transform your life, alter your mind, and help you really get through each day and have a fantastic life. That was episode 85. Then episode 92 was on gratitude and money, because I really wanted people to have a different view of money instead of thinking it of a suffering and survival and desperation modality, thinking of it in terms of appreciation. That was episode 92. And this episode, which is episode 101, is going to be a gift to you. I want to share a mindset with you. I want to share a technique with you. I want to share a concept with you. And it's very simple, but this, as I challenge you, will transform you. Very often, you've probably heard the phrase, see the good. I'm one of the people who do talk about see the good. I think that is a powerful way to live your life. Instead of going through life looking for the problems and complaining about everything you see, alter that view, change the goggles that are on your perception, and start looking for the good. Look for the good in people, in situations, in the world. This is a way of creating a more optimistic and abundant universe. I've often said that the world is an optical illusion. You get whatever you want to see. If you think it is a place of sewers and desperation and struggle, you will look out there and you will find that, and you will find the evidence for that. But by the same token, if you believe this world is one of opulence and possibility and optimism and abundance and prosperity, then you'll look out and you will see that. But it all begins with your mindset. What are you using to see the world? And your mindset is your perception. So if you just begin with see the good, you will start to have a different life. Certainly, the bad and the problems are available to look at, but certainly the good and the solutions are also there for you to look at. So, see the good is a good starting point. I've often talked about Pollyanna. I think the book Pollyanna and probably all the movies that were based on that original 1913 book all had that wonderful concept as a reminder that when you see the good, you actually become more good. So the good is available, and that is a choice. That is part of what I want to share with you. See the good. A lot of people will say, find the good. And I think that is also worthwhile. It's a very noble thing. Instead of finding what you want to complain about or what the problems are, you go out there and find the good. So you can see the good and you can go find the good. Make that a challenge and a task for you. You can go one step further and you could say, let's praise the good. In other words, when you see it, when you find it, you get vocal about it and you say, this is what is good. This is what is making a difference. All the people that I've interviewed on this show, and I've done 101 shows so far, none of those guests were paid. I don't get paid. We're doing this as an act of kindness. They did it as an act of kindness. All of this is being done to help you. So you can see good right here. You can find good right here. You can praise good right here and tell other people about it as a way of pointing out what you found, what you saw. It is good. Also, I've seen a t-shirt. I like wearing t-shirts. I'm wearing one right now, and I'll tell you what it says if you can't see it in a minute. There's a t-shirt that says, believe there is good. Believe there is good, which I also endorse. I say we live in a belief-driven universe. Change your beliefs and you get a different universe. So believe there is good starts to operate your brain and turn it on to look for good. But in the t-shirts I've seen, they've highlighted with a different color the word be in believe and the word the in there and the word good. So you end up with be the good. Be the good. So not only do you believe there is good, but you highlight certain fragments of the words and you end up with believe there is good. Now I'm wearing a t-shirt right now, and if you can see the visual, it says be the good. Be the good. I'm wearing it as a reminder to me, and I'm wearing it as a reminder to you. I'm not the only one who was talking about being the good as making a difference in the world. We can go back to Gandhi, who said, be the change that you wish to see in the world. You've heard that before. Annie Frank, she said, how wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. Martin Luther King Jr., life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? The Dalai Lama had said, be kind whenever possible, it is always possible. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, he wrote, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Einstein said, strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. And P.T. Barnum, who I wrote a book about, he was a businessman. He was a publicist. He was an advertiser. He was a spokesperson. He was an author. He was a politician. And yes, he was also a hoaxer. He was a product of his times. But he was very spiritual and very wise. And one thing he wrote was, we cannot all see alike, but we can all do good. It's one of my favorite quotes. We cannot all see alike, but we can all do good. We live in a time when there's a lot of conflict, when there's a lot of struggle. And it seems like social media, the internet, and all of the communication devices and apps we use today just amplify the anger, amplifies the problems, amplifies the chaos. And what I'm urging everybody to do is to do what I am doing my best to practice, and that is be the good. For the longest time, I also was just saying, let's see the good. Let's practice the Pollyanna approach and look for the glad in every person and every situation. And that does help. That is a movement in the right direction. And as you heard earlier, I wrote a book called Unexpected Kindness. And in that book, I talked about people who helped me long before I had any evidence of success or any success. They helped me as an unexpected kindness. They were being good to me. It dramatically affected me. I still remember it. I wrote about it in the book Unexpected Kindness because of the impact it had on me. When you practice being the good, you have an impact in the world. It's more than just seeing the good or praising the good or finding the good. You actually become the subject of the good. You become the force for good. And I'm here to tell you, with all the chaos and all the confusion and all the conflict that's going on in the world, and people arguing about what solution would be best, or who should do this, or who should be the leader and the follower, and all of that conversation, which gets more aggravating because there's no real apparent solution to those struggles and arguments. In the midst of all of that, there is one thing that works.
Believing Before Seeing, a new bestseller by Candace Barr. Order your copy today.
There is one thing that solves all the problems, and that is kindness. That is kindness. We all know what kindness is. We may argue about politics, we may argue about religion, we may argue about philosophy, we may argue about different ways of being in the world, right and wrong, and all of these different things that we argue over, all the different differences that we have. But in reality, we know what kindness is. You know what it's like to be kind. You know what it's like when people are kind to you. We have the experience of kindness as a universal. It's almost like the smile. In every culture, a smile means some sort of greeting, warmth, happiness, love, communication that's positive. Kindness is the same way. When you start to be the good, you start practicing random acts of kindness. So when I sit here and say, this is the gift I have for you, and this is the challenge I have for you, it is not an expensive gift. It is not something you have to pay for in any way, shape, or form. This is not a hard challenge. This is something where in each moment you ask yourself, what is the most kind thing I could do? What is the most kind thing I could say? When you come from be the good, you can act differently. You have choice. In each moment, you can come from somebody who is reactionary, who is coming from more animalistic response. But you can also come from a part of you that is more angelic, a part of you that is higher, a part of you that is more spiritual, a part of you that is more in connection and communication with everybody on the planet and the planet itself. When you be the good, you tap into this higher way of being. And I'm telling you this because you have a choice. Now, as you go about your day, you may be driving in traffic later and somebody pulls in front of you, and you may have a hair trigger response to be angry and lay on the horn and scream something and shake your fist. But if you pause just for a moment and say, what would be the good thing to do? Or what would be a higher vibe approach? What would be a more spiritual response? You can take a break, take a breath, and make a new choice. You have a choice in every single one of these moments. I just earlier today was talking to an electrician who was coming here to do some repair work. And he had looked me up and he said, I didn't know you had written all these books. I didn't know that you were an author of 90 some books. And I didn't know that you had all this spiritual side. And he asked me if I had heard of a spiritual training that's out there. And I had. He said he took it 5 years ago. And I said, why? He said, because he was angry. He was flying off the handle. People were setting him off. He would get angry. He would be destructive. He would be in a rage and he would regret it. He would regret it. So he needed help. He took this particular training, which was called insight training, in case you're curious. And he said it was a breakthrough. He said it was very difficult because he had to face his wounds, release his wounds, heal his wounds. But now he's at a point, and this is specifically what he told me. He can hear the voice in his head. There's the voice that wants him to be reactionary and to make a decision to go into anger. And there's the other voice that says, everything's okay. You don't have to get mad. You don't have to react. You can let this blow off, or you can take a breath and give a calm response, a calm, rational, wise response, and make a decision about what to do. He said it changed his life. This is what I'm offering to you as a gift. It's the gift of awareness. It's the gift of taking a moment in any and every situation to consider how are you going to respond. The average person out there is in a lower vibe level where they're on the gossiping level, they're on the complaining level, they are on the angry level, they are on the retaliation level. You don't have to be on that same level. You can take what's called the higher road. And one way to take the higher road is to be the good. When somebody is complaining in a line at the post office or at a restaurant or picking up laundry or whatever it happens to be, you could join in and encourage the complaint. That doesn't help either one of you. What would be the good do? What would be the good do? I remember reading Dale Carnegie's famous book about how to win friends and influence people. And he talked about complaining and he talked about compliments. Instead of complaining, he said, why don't you find something to talk about that is flattery, that is sincere, but it's a compliment. So you could redirect that conversation. And instead of complaining about the laundry or the traffic or the post office or the long wait or the long line, you instead say, I love that color of shirt on you. Where did you get it? And now you have interrupted the mudslide into negativity and you've redirected it into clearer waters. This is available for you. It's available to me. And this is what I secretly do throughout my life. I don't always succeed. We're all in the human experience here. What we're doing is reaching for more. The other day, I was talking to a friend and we were talking about the Stoics and Stoicism. And I had quoted Marcus Aurelius earlier, who said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one. And we were talking about Stoicism, and I pointed out even the Stoics agree there has never been an ideal Stoic. The closest most would agree had been Socrates. I'm not Socrates. You're not Socrates. None of the people that I've been talking to are Socrates. But we can still hold up the philosophy and the insights and the wisdom from the Stoics as an ideal, which means we are shooting for that. We are reaching for that. And we know that we're probably never going to get there, but we still reach for it. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. So be the good is that philosophy and is that mindset that I want to encourage you to take on. Because what I would really like to see in the world is people treating each other with that kind of respect. When you are the person that is good, rather than just seeing the good, finding the good, and praising the good, but when you are the person that is the good, now you are creating an actual physical change in the universe. You're doing it as a ripple effect through the people that you touch and then they touch. And you're doing it on the cosmos metaphysical level as an energy contact that now reverberates through the universe. But it's all happening physically and metaphysically because of your action. And your action is happening because you're not just seeing good or finding good or praising good, you are being the good. So when I say be the good, I'm laying down a very easy, polite, no cost challenge for you. No matter what's going on for the rest of the day after listening to this show, whatever it happens to be, what I would like you to do is stop and consider what would you do and what would you say if you're actually embodying the concept of good. I want to remind you that within you, you do have two sides. You do have the side that is going to be more on the negative, and you do have the side that is going to be more on the positive. You get to choose. And who's choosing? The spiritual aware being that is between both of those. I want you to consider all of this. I want you to realize that I'm doing this as an act of kindness. The studio is doing this as an act of kindness. Lux Media is doing this as an act of kindness. We're doing this as a good offering to you. I invite you to pass it forward. Be the good. I'm Dr. Joe Vitale. You've been listening or watching Zero Limits Living. It's now on 1,000 platforms across the world, or just go to ZeroLimitsLivingTV.com and watch all the episodes. This is episode 101. Check out Miracles Coaching at miraclescoaching.com, Mental Time Travel System, mentaltimetravelsystem.com. Latest book is Unexpected Kindness, unexpectedkindnessbook.com. New book, Zero Limits Living. It's available for pre-order right now on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or wherever you go and get books. I love you. I'm grateful for you. I thank Lux Media, Nick in the engineering department, and all of you tuning in and passing the word. Be the good. Expect miracles.